Greetings and welcome to the Out of Noise podcast with your host Stella B and
Nat Nye.
This is the podcast where we bring our peace
to the mic
and we welcome you back frequently to tune into our frequency. Yes, we are discussing trending subjects currently, so we all know what's been happening this week.
Boy.
We all got couple of holidays out of the thing. Yeah. So people are happy about that.
Yeah.
So if you're not aware, if you've been sleeping under some rock on another planet, maybe Sirius B.
Would be a spot to jam.
Yeah, it's a great spot to jam.
Yeah.
You forgot a couple of people. But yeah, if you're here, you will know that Charles III, his coronation took place Saturday the 6th, is it? 6th today? Of May. And there's a lot to talk about to do with that. It's quite hilarious that in the last 2 years we've had the Jubilee or whatever that thing was. We've had a funeral and now we've had another coronation costing millions and millions and millions of pounds.
Hundreds of millions. If
you total all of those three ceremonies up, the cost of that. And then people come in, but they're making it all back. You know, the tourism, la.
Does the people see any of that?
Do they? Because that's the tax money that paid for that.
Right?
Right?
I mean, that 250 mil could have been split kind of decently, like whatever it turns out to be. But the nurses, imagine the amount of nurses they split that. What they would get. I don't know the maths, but I'm sure it will put a smile on their face and they'll be like, oh, you know what? This is a real king.
Yeah. But meanwhile, it's like you go into the House of Commons, they're having debates about paying more or less. Or just keeping it the same for firemen, for nurses, as you mentioned, for the whole education system, all sorts of things, public services, as in the government public servants. Just nope, things have to remain how they are. But is it because they're stacking up for these occasions, perchance? It's ridiculous. It's too much. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, it shows where their priorities are at. And, you know, you got a question in terms of priorities, why? Because power dictates. Power dictates. And we see the true demonstration of that power at this coronation. You see it, like, however, which way you want to place it. This figurehead family. Well, this figurehead family seems to command quite a lot of money. Quite a force of a military show. A lot of entertainment, a lot of music, a lot of spirituality, and mass attention. It's a global display of power.
On the next level.
And I've even said about the esoteric nature of all of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you mentioned the you said, did you say spiritual?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's correlates with what you're talking about there in terms of the esoteric nature of it, because we're not a country that really believes in God. Like, yes, like even in America, arguably as well, but they always say, oh yeah, I'm Christian. Here in the UK, they don't even say that.
No,
like, not anymore. Like, that's been gone
for a while.
For a long time.
Yeah.
And so to see it so much within these kind of rituals that take place every so often. So I mentioned before we had the funeral, obviously that was going to be a big spectacle, of course.
Yeah.
It's, that the monarch, the head of the monarch that everyone's grown up knowing is gone.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then before that though, they had her celebration the Diamond Jubilee or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Platinum. It was a big one.
Yeah, something huge.
And that again was a massive ceremony with all the marching band and all the soldiers and all the dress up and the horses.
Yeah.
That all starts and finishes in the church.
Yeah.
So, and then you think about what I witnessed today when there was a part where the priest or whoever, who's doing it, was like, now we're going to pledge allegiance. Now we all must pledge allegiance to the king on the God.
Wild.
Wow.
So how is it that they just a figurehead?
It's not a figurehead. This is deep stuff, man.
Because that is spiritual bondage.
Yes. Our words sound power. Billy Carson in a clip just talking about how the things we say manifest. We're creators, so we must think about the things we say because we're going to manifest some things out of it. The word is power, it's frequency, it's actual sonics, cymatics. Yeah, so what you say resonates. It causes a vibration and can contort and shift things to move to however your intention is as well, because the intention behind the words is also very important. So when they're all in those spaces that are very dark, when you know their history and the way they built their power, they're the original gangsters, the church. Then you can't look at it in the same way of this kind of it's just a figurehead. He's just, he's just dressing up for the day in some pageantry.
All of these different members of the source of power pledge allegiance
to
him.
Yeah.
And what does he say? I need to find out. Is he
what he said back?
Yeah. Is it
we weren't tuned in properly. Yeah, he had to kneel and he had to take his oath.
Okay.
But we need to check that out. That'd be good. Let me find it somewhere. If you got it on your list, look in your pad. But so they're saying things to solidify a certain message. Obviously, what people mostly know and what people grasp with, the plebs of us all, we just have to sing the song, innit? And I have to repeat the words. You all know the song lyrics. All you're changing is queen for king. That is also resonant. That's also a frequency. That's also a vibration of, no matter what, save him for as long as possible, maybe till he's 108. And now we have the queen there. She is a gangster.
Game of Thrones.
She smacked it. Go on, Camilla. She played the long game.
Game of Thrones.
She said, wait a minute. Charles said, hey, I can't see you anymore. She said, wait a minute. Wait. I think we've got something, Charles. She played the long game. Queen. No. Camilla will never say to take the place of a queen. No. Camilla won't do that. Camilla smacked it, period. As they say these days. Because she knew this is the son of the queen who is destined to be the next king. I'ma wait.
So, the oath.
Yeah. You found it?
Not in full.
Okay.
But the royal family Twitter page said, His Majesty swears to govern the people with justice and mercy and to uphold the Anglican Church of England and Presbyterian Church of Scotland. For the first time at the coronation, His Majesty also prays for grace to be a blessing to all of every faith and belief.
So that's interesting. So it really makes you actually remember the power of the church as well. And it's always been that way. You see it in those kind of those period films and dramas when they show this kind of, they go back to maybe medieval times or whatnot, and you'll see the smarmy, horrible church member, the priest, close advisor of the king, of the monarch, innit? They're all creepy, being an advisor for what affects the people. The church.
Yes.
The silent power of the church. It's not so silent, to be fair.
Well, it's very visible and it's hidden in plain sight as a thing. And that's how I feel about the monarchy. They're hidden in plain sight.
Yeah, people think, oh, sweet little queen, or oh, Charles, he's so nice with the Prince's Trust. But it's like, I don't know, there's been a lot of indications that people are not happy. And guess what? It's obvious that's going to happen. Like, okay, just some statistics here, like while you're reading that. So, poverty. So around 14.4 million people, 14.4 million people were living in poverty in 2021 and 2022. That's probably gone up, okay, according to the government's annual households below average income report.
Yeah.
Okay? And that includes 4.2 million children, which is almost 1 in 3. 29% of that number of the 14.4 million is children. 29%. And there's also 8.1 million working age adults and 2.1 million pensioners live in poverty. And it's really sad because when you're seeing a lot of people are exiting, I say by choice, but as in opting out, taking their lives or whatnot, you know, a high percentage of men, but women, also children, young people, and the pressure to be, to find purpose from materialism. A lot of young souls here who feel inadequate because they're not rich. And they're so, not rich, but not okay, not even living the lifestyles they're seeing on the Instagram. You know, they're not even their friend, but just someone they see on Instagram or people they see, everything that's pushed. That is, so imagine that, but extreme version of that as well, like really below poverty. Like, you know, I can't afford even Primark.
Yeah.
I've got to go Shoe Zone.
Yeah.
You know them ones?
Yeah.
Like, that is what people are living in day to day. There's a whole areas of the UK that look like walking around what you'd imagine or what they paint you a story of in some parts of Kazakhstan or whatever. Like, proper, like, no offense to anybody, but that is the image that they give you of those kind of really poor European places. That's here in the UK.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Like, yeah, so poverty being so high, you can see why people would be like,
and so
I don't really want to care about seeing this old guy riding around in a golden leaf carriage.
Flaunting,
kind of rubbing it in your face.
I mean,
telling you to go to volunteer at food bank.
Crazy, wild madness. The haves take from the have-nots. Make it make sense. You ain't got none, but whatever you do have, I'll take that. That's how they move. Okay, you're responsible for your own issues. What? That's how they move. Like, it's such an amazing place to be, where you can reign and you can use others to rule. So you have such great power and wealth on display, and you don't really get the reaction from the people when the government is messing up, because the people have put you in a different place. However, as you said, with the conditions of where the people are at and such pomp and pageantry for such an expense at the people's cost, people are going to be pissed off. So that's why you add the protesters turn up, but you know they're arresting people.
I mean,
so what happened to freedom of speech?
Like, exactly, and that's that kind of hard, forceful hand that we're seeing there. Like, I believe, you know, they knew the Queen was on her way out. That Philip died Okay, and often that happens, isn't it? A partnership for so long, close to follow behind is going to be the wife.
Yeah.
The husband dies, the wife goes, or vice versa. So they've known, like, it's been in the running, and he's been flying around doing his parts, you know, getting with the World Health Organization and with the the WEF, what's it? World Economic Forum, you know, and all the kind of agenda for global warming. He's always been an advocate for that, right? He's always been all about conservation,
yes.
And you know, caring about the environment and food, produce, and you know, you see him a lot of speeches. He's even got a book. I can't remember the name of it, what it's called, but he's got a book that he wrote, which he's even got an audio for, and talking all about that. Like, he was laughed at in the 1970s. He was ridiculed because of his views, his points of views to do with the planet and caring about all that and speaking out about that. But, you know, all that aside, my main point bringing that up was to say, like, yeah, he clearly has started the influence, the kingly influence into what he wants to happen, what he's decided to have to happen. And this is where you see, okay, so-called soft power flexing its muscle. How can you be so soft, but you're tied to directly the biggest family fortune, one of the biggest family fortunes of the entire planet?
Yeah.
How can you be a small like, oh, you're just, you know, of course, if you feel like you want to actually exert your power, you're going to be able to do that. Like, quite simply and easily. Like, it's not like someone's going to challenge you.
Every head of state of note had to acknowledge this procession.
Yeah.
Every head of state had to acknowledge, right, you are the king. That's
power.
And the name, like, words have meaning, like United Kingdom, the king of the United Kingdom. Power.
It's power.
Even Bahari
had to. There. Oh, he was there.
Yeah.
But not the current president. Has he been sworn in?
I don't know yet. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you find the book?
No.
This book. Yeah, that's deep. So Bahari was. Oh yeah. Okay. So look here in Wikipedia, just in Wikipedia, since the 70s, promoted environmental awareness, and then he had. Okay, this was the stuff that they were calling crazy. He emphasized the importance of talking to plants. I happily talk to the plants and trees and listen to them. So do you listen to them when they tell you that you need to stop? You need to stop all this crap, that people shouldn't be living in this way.
Innit? I'm sure that was their message.
His healing garden based on sacred geometry and ancient religious symbolism went on display in Chelsea Flower Show in 2002. He's a character. It's so deep. It's so deep. It's complex. He clearly cares about a lot of things and things that you should care about. But he's also got best friends with a highly prolific paedophile, and has allowed Andrew, who was accused very recently and exposed for being for sleeping with 14-year-old young girl.
Yeah.
And hanging out with a prolifically proven and subsequently charged and put in jail paedophile.
Yeah.
So you can't.
Sex trafficking.
Exactly. You can't downplay those relationships.
Nope.
So that is what it is like.
Nope. You cannot.
You know.
Birds of a feather.
Exactly.
And there's a certain level of power there. That means that level, like, you cannot be prosecuted. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
you're like exempt.
Exempt.
You're exempt from the law, the very law that you expect everyone in the land to obey by. This is the depth of hypocrisy. Like, if you want to look up hypocrisy, the word, there needs to be a picture of the monarch, because that is a pure hypocrisy right there. Like, how in the hell are you talking to me sat on a golden throne about cost of living or austerity back in the day? Like, what?
Yeah.
Make it make sense. Sitting there, how are you telling people, be good, follow the principles, do not steal, and you've got stolen jewels upon your head?
Well, see, the thing is, exactly, and this is the thing, that with the swearing of the oath or the Pledge of Allegiance, the anthem, what you're seeing is that this is an elevated position, and not like you regular have to figure it all out. We are in our ordained spot, or I'm in that ordained spot where it's God-given.
We're special. We're God. We are the God's people.
We are the God. And it's like, yo, I don't have an issue really. Like, some people have an issue with monarchy, and I get it. But I don't really have an issue with it, because as far as I can see, observationally, you have leaders and you have followers.
Yeah.
And so there's a responsibility when it comes to leadership, though. Especially if you're a monarchy.
Well, this is the thing.
You have to have the responsibility of that.
In
Where
Africa,
are you leading the people?
In our great empires of Africa, from what we read and understand, yes, there was some faulty leadership, especially towards the end. But generally speaking, we tend to deal with the principle of the king is chosen by the people.
Yeah.
The king, and we're hearing about more women who were also queens as well, who were not queens in the sense of my queen, my wife, but queens in their very own right.
Yeah.
So it's not just conquering land and rulership of people, tyranny, all of this kind of energy. It's actually about, what do the people need? Not just let them come and have a little conversation with me and then I send them away with chopping off their limbs or some crazy mad kingly and queenly things we hear about from these people. Like, the power goes to their head.
Yeah, it's not meant to be like that.
It's not. It's meant to be your people, your so-called subjects.
You're
representing them. Governance is a word that is interesting, isn't it? Governance indicates rulership and control, doesn't it? It's not governance as in I'm going to support you and look after you and care for you.
But it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be, but the way we can understand that word in the reality we're living,
it's authoritarian.
It's authoritarian. I will govern you. I will govern you. I will tell you what to do, how to do it, when to do it, how much to spend on doing it, and I will make sure that it all benefits me in the end. That's literally what that person there is doing. Oh, I care about this planet, but who's the planet for? Isn't it for every human to enjoy the experience, or every creature and being to enjoy this experience fairly, with no judgment and no prejudice and racism? Like, the priority, he should have been as radical as he was back in the 70s. Yeah, and he should have been, the priority actually is not the day. We can just do this a very quiet, low-key thing, half/, all the costings, make the world know that I'm a different type of person to all the previous. No, 250 million.
That would demonstrate he's a real king, but he's not.
He's not.
Not a real king.
So people shouldn't fall for the message of, oh, he's this nice guy, and like, don't fall for it.
I don't think people are, to be honest.
They seem angry.
Yeah, as soon as you become king, it's like Skeksis time. If people, like, basically anyone listening don't know about Skeksis, Stella and we use that word a lot when describing a certain energy or representation of that energy for your human form. And we got it from the film and series on Netflix called Dark Crystal. Brilliant. Shows you how the world really is through puppetry. But yeah, Skeksis in Dark Crystal. There's a point at which they're like, yo, we don't even have to hide no more. Nothing. No, our intentions, nothing. And that's what we're in now. Like,
the Skeksis are these lords of the land, and they've lost their way a long time ago in terms of their they were separated from themselves. I can't remember what the other group are called. So in this version of themselves, they're just really corrupt and evil and selfish and willing to do anything for greedy purposes. And that includes and that's the reason why they lose their looks. So apparently, a long time ago they were very good looking, and then now they're just all really crinkly and nasty and skexy, like looking. Ugh.
They look like
They look like skexy.
They look like they're lame.
And then, but they look like that. But then the people, these cute little, oh man, I can't remember any of the names, but these cute little things, they looking at them and they're calling them Lord. They just think they're cute. They just think they're nice. These ugly skexies, they think they're really sweet and good to them, and they're the Lords, and they, they laugh them off. And it's so mad because you can see they're nasty and boils and pus coming out of their boils, and they're not pleasant, but these people will want to hug them and yay, the Skeksis are coming to town today. It's kind of like how certain celebrities be looking these days, you know what I mean? Like, what? That's a Skeksis right there. But the main thing is that they suddenly don't care if the people, the poplins or whoever, are actually fooled anymore. There's a point where they just go, yeah, like,
they go in.
This is it. This is who we are.
Yeah, they go in.
Deal with it.
Yeah, like raggo.
They just reveal the mask.
Real cruelty and saying, yeah, it's us.
And they laugh in your face. So let me just find a little bit of thing to read from this fella's book, because I think I can do that. If I can just get it on here. So he wrote a book, The Passions, and let's see, Prince Charles, The Passions and Paradoxes of an Implorable Life. No, that's not his. That's about him. Wow, I don't think... Is it one of those books that they've hidden from everyone, because they were rather embarrassed of his views about the world, which is so ironic now that everybody knows that he was right. But okay, well, while I'm looking for that, just to let you know, thank you so much for tuning into the Out of Noise podcast. I have been your host, Stella B, and we are currently doing trending subjects, or the Out of Noise podcast, bringing peace to the mic every single week. And if you like what you're hearing, or if you don't like what you're hearing either, you can give us a comment below if you're watching this on YouTube, or just comment in any way you can. Reach out to let us know what you think about what we've been talking about. What's your opinion about King Charles now and the ceremony that took place on May the 6th, his coronation? Are you down for a monarchy, or do you think it's down to the monarchy? That is it time that they left? Because what are they actually doing for people really? And is it outdated? Some of the pageantry that we saw outside of the esoteric meanings of certain rituals that are performed, is it outdated? Does it still work? Or has the veil and the mask, has it been fully, well and truly lifted? Let us know your thoughts. I would love to know if you just comment. Let's get some engagement. Let's have some of your opinions about what we're talking about. Do we need this monarchy? And is King Charles going to be any different from the last 50 years plus of the reign of Queen Elizabeth? Or is it going to be just more of the same stuff? We are yet to find out, obviously, but let's have your predictions. We would like to hear from you. And if you do enjoy what we are talking about, do feel free to buy us a coffee. You can in the link below. And we have some great clothing available on Shopify. So again, just click on the link in the description below to check out our apparel. and you can buy one. They are really cute. So, yes, as we were noting, I can't find the book. From Prince Charles. I can't find the book, but he does have one. It's somewhere. Obviously, it's one of those embarrassing histories because I can't find it anywhere. But maybe once now he's the king, he'll just make it re-release. Make everyone have a free copy in each and every school of the land, because he can do that.
I mean, it was positive, right?
It was a positive book, apparently, But then I don't know if he advocates for population control, like his son.
Probably does.
So that's probably in the book if he does.
Yeah,
I know his dad did.
Yep. Exactly.
And it's interesting. Just another thing to bring up is how Prince Harry has been treated as well, in opposition to the way that they've been treating a known paedophile.
What? Mad thing. It shows where the values are at.
Yeah, there is none.
Yeah. Shows where the values are.
He's all dressed up, looking all regal and stuff. Smile. Someone caught him on camera.
Yeah. Above the law. That's what that is. But you're not above universal law. There's going to be repercussions. Maybe, if not in this lifetime, there will be. Because, that's universal law. Like, you don't do that. Don't do that. We can make mistakes, We make mistakes in this life. We're human. But there's certain lines that you just do not cross.
Yeah.
And that's evil.
It's evil.
There's got to be justice for that at some point. Very different from somebody who's, because they're in their environment, of the condition of their environment, they're forced to do certain things, either mentally or sometimes actually physically. Like their environment has created them, so they make the mistakes along the way that they know better. But nah.
It's just no. It comes with a lot of places where there's so much of this energy of power. That whole system. It's a system. There's a big system of sex trafficking and human trafficking involved. They want body parts. They want young blood. Yeah.
Gosh.
That happened. I mean, it was all coming out over the period of the lockdown.
Yeah.
A lot of people had time, so they were researching and going deep and finding out all sorts of things, and then they started to be labelled as conspiracy theorists, but actually it's all rooted in truth.
Yeah.
So all of this does happen. They tend to pile it on thick to the dead.
Yeah, they do.
So Jimmy Savile was gone, and it's like, he was a necrophiliac, he was this, he was that.
But it's like, basically, they can expose every essence of that individual now because they're gone. They're gone. And they do it in a fashion whereby it's pinned all all
blame on him.
Acts and blame on him.
Yeah.
In a way that can absolve those who are currently still around.
Still doing it.
Free and still doing it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Like, what was your relationship with Jimmy Savile? Like, curious. Like, seriously. Apparently good friends. Good friends? So you must have known. Known or more. Like...
Yep. At the very least, he would have seen certain things and thought, yo, what happened to you, Bridget?
This is so, so, so sick. For me, I think... Yeah, it's time will tell, because I'm not sure. It's just passive. People are passive. It's not necessarily that they're happy with the situation. They just don't have a answer. You know what I mean? They're passive like that, so they don't know what to do about it. So they just let whatever happens. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, guys, we've just spent 250 million on a coronation for a day of celebration. So, but
the nurses just a week before, 2 weeks prior, was like, yo, can we get more, fair living wage? No money magic tree. Yeah. And that's some of their tax money. And that's some of their tax. The liberty, that's what I'm saying. The power has to have responsibility.
Yeah, to the people.
To the people.
So, yeah, let us know what your thoughts are about this whole fuss hard. This. Comment below, what do you think? Do you think it's time these people went? What are they good for? Let alone the whole kind of conversation that we haven't had or haven't stemmed towards, which is the kind of tentacles and claws they're still pushing into the lands where the majority of Africans are from, and other indigenous peoples. That conversation we haven't really had, but that we can save that for another time. That's a whole nother session in itself.
Yep.
So yeah, let us know. Comment below. As I mentioned earlier, we would love for you to buy us a coffee if you enjoy this episode, and you can check our apparel out. Our hoodies, t-shirts, bags, hats. We have all sorts of things for you, so do check it out on our Shopify link below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Do share this around to anyone who you think might want to listen to it. Any podcast people out there who enjoy a good natter and sounding out of what they think. We're bringing a piece to the mic every single week. And we're sending you lots of love, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Peace.
Say one man has no light, and the other man has got no candle, and one man has no door. Say the other man has got no handle. Say life no be competition. They wanna put me in a royal rumble. I don't wanna be a dog in the city. I'd rather be a lion in a jungle. A lion in a jungle. A lion in a jungle. Would you rather be a dog in the city, or a lion in a jungle? So me say any which way you find yourself, you got to be grateful. Sing this song, sing praise to the Most High.
Grateful.
Oh yeah.
They say your gratitude determines your latitude. I'm grateful to the Most High, there's no other substitute. I'm grateful for life, grateful for waking up, grateful that the Most High still hasn't forsaken us. With all our iniquities and inabilities, we still freely exist in this reality, in this life of sin, this life of malevolence. We're still highly blessed, and this is the evidence.
Say one man has no light, and the other man has got no candle, and one man has no door. Say the other man has got no handle. Say life no be competition. They wanna put me in a royal rumble. I don't wanna be a dog in the city. I'd rather be a lion in a jungle. A lion in a jungle. A lion in a jungle. Would you rather be a dog in the city, or a lion in a jungle? So me say any which way you find yourself, you got to be grateful. Sing this song, sing praise to the Most High. Oh yeah.
Oluwa they cover me, they shade me from negative energy. Oluwa now you be my canopy. You they save me from people who no get love for me. You no feel that bad energy. Come near me when you want show. Now you they guide me. Me I feel the way they come.
Lion in a jungle. A lion in a jungle. A lion in a jungle. Would you rather be a dog in the city, or a lion in a jungle? So me say any which way you find yourself, you got to be grateful. Sing this song, sing praise to the Most High. Oh yeah.